Hello dear students, welcome to Bajirao Ias Academy interview guidance program. In this lecture we will be discussing about few important environmental initiatives that were brought recently by the government of India and even at the international level. Now in UPSC interview, there's a chance that the panel members may ask the recent initiatives that were brought in by the government of India. Okay, so you have to be very confident while addressing those answers or while answering those questions. Okay, so they are just straightforward questions. For example, they ask what is the scheme of Mishti. So if you don't have the answer, then that will significantly impact or negatively impact your marks. So therefore what we will do, there are certain initiatives that were brought by the government of India. Just try and understand those initiatives. So what are those initiatives, so you can perform better, that even it will also helpful for your prelims examination. Okay, so the first initiative that we are going to discuss is life. Okay, so this is lifestyle for environment movement that was introduced or launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Glasgow Summit 2021. Okay, so in this context we will understand what is this life mission, lifestyle for environment movement or lifestyle for environment mission. So that is launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So this program particularly aimed to make sure that the lifestyle of the people is transformed significantly to suit the needs of the environment, or our lifestyle will not destroy the environment or ecology. So mission life or lifestyle for environment movement is actually an India-led global mass movement. Okay, so this movement will be led by India, but this is a global movement to nudge individual and community actions to protect and preserve our environment. So what is the overall objective of this movement? The objective of this movement is to protect and preserve the environment. So this movement was launched by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the 26th UN Climate Change Conference of Parties COP26, Glasgow, November 2021. So this program's hopes to mobilize 1 billion Indians as well as the people in other countries to become individuals who practice sustainable lifestyles. Okay, so this program will encourage people to practice sustainable lifestyles. So this global movement will showcase sustainable goals and climate actions taken by the countries, individuals across the country. So there are different countries who have adopted the best practices for the conservation of nature, conservation of ecosystem. And there are also initiatives at the individual scale and at the community level. So this movement will aim to showcase those initiatives at the individual level, community level, at the country level. So thereby mobilizing the positive sentiment, mobilizing the action-oriented aspect among the people. So that will significantly alter the living patterns of the people. So that benefits the environment and ecology. So it actually makes a fight against climate change democratic. Okay, so a fight against climate change, a democratic fight where climate justice has taken into consideration. Okay, so and the historic responsibilities are also taken into consideration, and it builds equity, so in which everyone contribute their respective capacities. For example, there are Western developed countries and the poor countries in Africa and South Asia. So therefore it ensures that every country contributes as per their own capacities. So apart from that, it also emboldens the spirit of P3 model. Okay, so in this context we need to understand what exactly the P3 model. So the P3 model is pro planet people. So life's movement has emphasized on pro planet people, so the people who are pro planet. So it actually functions on the basic principles of lifestyle of the planet. Okay, so changing a lifestyle to protect, conserve nature, conserve or protect our planet. Okay, so it also aims at following a three-pronged strategy for changing people's collective approach towards the sustainability. So over a period of time, what it will do, so it will help in following a three-pronged strategy for changing people's collective approach towards the sustainability. It helps in nurturing individuals. Okay, so nurturing individuals, nurturing communities is very important for climate action. So therefore, life mission has a very important and a very crucial role when it comes to nurturing individuals. So it helps in practicing simple yet effective environment friendly actions in their daily lives. So apart from that, it will also enable industries and markets to respond swiftly to the changing demand and supply. Okay, so therefore we can say that this is a multi-stakeholder engagement for the protection and conservation of nature, natural resources, planet Earth, ecology, ecosystem. Okay, so our lifestyles should not significantly alter, significantly damage the natural ecosystem of the planet Earth. So this is the overall objective of the program. So apart from that, it will also influence the government and industrial policy to support both sustainable consumption and production. So if you remember, sustainable production and consumption is also part of the sustainable developmental goals, so agenda 2030. So therefore this is also in line with the sustainable developmental goals to promote responsible production and consumption. So this is the overall objective of the life mission that has been launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the 26th COP summit in Glasgow. So please remember some of the key aspects related to the life mission, because you may get questions with respect to the life mission in the interview. So the next topic that we're going to discuss is about India's climate pledges. Okay, so we have already discussed this multiple times, and again we will discuss India's climate pledges. Right, so India has made certain climate pledges to in COP summit. Okay, so India is a responsible country with respect to climate action. Okay, so recently India ratified pledges made by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Glasgow, November 2021. Now, apart from launching 2021, apart from launching this, mission life, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had also unveiled India's pledges in terms of Mission Panchamrit. Okay, Mission Panchamrit is also very, very important. Just keep in mind. So it was launched in the year 2021 Glasgow Summit to accelerate countries' reliance on renewable energy to power the economy and effectively free from use of fossil fuels by 2070. So this essentially means that the climate pledges that were announced by the government of India essentially aimed to make India net zero by 2070 and substantially increase its dependence on renewable energy fuels and reduce the usage of fossil fuels and reduce the emission intensity and the carbon emission intensity of our economy substantially. Okay, so these are the climate pledges that were made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So however, the approved pledges were fewer than those Prime Minister Narendra Modi had recently committed to. So okay, so these pledges that Prime Minister Narendra Modi had committed in Glasgow Summit 2021, the 26th COP Summit. So what are those 5 pledges? So we need to understand those 5 pledges. So these pledges are revised pledges with respect to India's climate action. So firstly, we need to talk about the net zero emission by 2070. So most of the Western developed countries have announced to become net zero by 2050. In fact, US, Europe. However, China announced that it will become net zero by 2060. But since India, despite having a lot of problems, but India has announced that India will become net zero by 2070, and India has been aggressively moving towards achieving the goal of net zero by 2070. So however, it remains to be seen how India will become net zero by 2070 despite a lot of challenges in this route. And the second promise that was made by Prime Minister Narendra Modi is reducing the total projected carbon emissions by at least 1 billion tons starting now till 2030. Okay, so annually the government of India will reduce carbon emissions by 1 billion tons starting now till 2030. Third, increasing renewable energy component to 50% of our total energy requirement by 2030. Okay, so we have been significantly improving the renewable energy infrastructure and renewable energy generation capacities. So therefore, we have the aim of meeting a total energy needs from renewable energies, right? So 50% of our renewable energy needs will be met through the renewables. And apart from that, reducing the carbon intensity of the economy by 45% by 2030. This is also one of the goals of the government of India, one of the pledges of the government of India that was made by Prime Minister. Okay, so we will become less carbon intensive economy. And this is also very important, particularly with respect to India's exports, where European Union has imposed the carbon border management tax, carbon border adjustment tax. Okay, so after that, the fifth climate commitment, the climate pledge, is increasing the non-fossil energy capacity to reach 500 gigawatt by 2030. So we will reduce the usage of fossil fuels, we will reduce the dependence of fossil fuels. Since if you look at some data with respect to the usage of fossil fuels, around 60% of our electricity is generated from coal thermal power plants, and 85% of our fossil fuel requirements are met through imports. So therefore, in this context, reducing our dependence on fossil fuels is very important, particularly for a country like India, where the energy demand has been substantially increasing. So therefore, over a period of time, we will aggressively move towards renewables, we will produce biofuels, and we will invest more and more money on research and development, attract the private sector participation in the energy sector. Okay, so that helps India achieve its overall goal of becoming net zero by 2070. Okay, so that's all for this lecture as well, and thank you so much. Please like our video and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.